The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
This hump day episode of Spears and Ali is presented by the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Tucson Federal Credit Union. We are joined by Arizona offensive line coach Josh Oglesby. Training camp right around the corner, season right around the corner, and Arizona's offensive line looking like a pretty stout group, Ali. Very excited to talk to Coach O about his guys. Josh, thank you for joining us, man. How's the summer treating you?
It's been good, man, and thank you guys for having me. It's been really cool to see kind of this group come together, and it's interesting because they're kind of like some veteran guys in the room now with Deuced and even Lotto and Tristan, and seeing those guys kind of take the reins this offseason has been awesome, and kind of just setting up their own like post-workout work and all that type of stuff. It's been awesome.
And one thing I love about the offensive line is that the camaraderie you guys have, and you guys are always hanging out with each other. Can you tell us about how you guys are hanging out off the field and building up that chemistry?
Yeah, it's a huge part of it for me. The group is kind of like a team within a team, because like what we do is so different than some of the other positions, and part of it is I feel like most people can't stand us but us. So we spend so much time together because we understand each other. But no, it is one where like the group relies so heavily on each other that as much as we can be connected outside of the building, it gives us a better chance to perform, inside the arena, so to speak.
Josh, I remember when I played some offensive line back in the day, and I was just always begging my coach to run a trap, or I'm not covered and go sweep because I earhole some guy or take out a DB. And then I coached at South Point with the great Al Alexander. He's now the head coach of Saguaro, coaches the Tucson Sugar Skulls offensive line. And we ran a lot of zone scheme, not a lot of gap or man. And I'm like, what is this zone thing? And I'm like, okay, now I get it. Inside zone, outside zone, basically get in the way of somebody. It didn't hurt that we had Bijan at running back, so they made each other look good. But what's Arizona's philosophy, and can you kind of give us a little in depth of the difference between kind of maybe a more attacking gap or man scheme versus inside or outside zone?
Yeah, so we're a little bit of a hybrid. I would say that we are predominantly a zone team, which I think most people around the country are. But we also protect our zone scheme with our gap schemes. I think some of our more explosive plays on the season last year were actually counter some of our gap schemes. But I think when it comes down to like what we hang our hat on is what we'll say is like our bread and butter. It would be our zone scheme. We run our zone scheme a little bit different than most. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of teams out there where it's truly zone tracked and everyone's just kind of going like on angles and things like that and kind of letting it sort out as they play. Ours is a little bit more targeted downhill zone. And it's kind of a hybrid of inside zone and outside zone, which really gives our backs a chance to attack the full formation, as opposed to, where it's just inside zone rolling off the side of the center, or outside zone where it's truly stretch and puncture. It's kind of a good marriage for both the backs and us, because it allows us to work our angles, but also be somewhat aggressive and violent and work chips and all that type of stuff. So it is a little bit different. And because it is different, right, I think sometimes it takes just a little bit longer for the back and the O-line to truly kind of gel and mesh those tracks and angles together, because the way we run the play, like it's super dependent on both the back and the O-line being in unison.
We've got Arizona offensive line coach Josh Oglesby joining Spears and Ali on ESPN Radio. And the right side of the line is who you're returning. You got Tristan Bounds coming back. You got Alexander Deuce. Before we get to Bounds and the offseason that he has had, man, Alexander Deuce, the dude's like an athletic freak, man. I mean, power cleaning over 400 pounds, squatting 620 pounds, climbing up the rope that you guys have in the weight room and getting all the way up to the ceiling. I mean, that guy might be one of the most athletic offensive linemen I've ever seen. What has it been like for you to see his development over the last couple of years?
The kid's awesome. Like I love Deuce. I'm super grateful that we have him. You know, he brought it over 10 feet the other day. He ran like over 18 miles an hour or something crazy like that. He is truly an Avenger. Like we call him the Hulk. So like he's awesome athletically. And probably the thing that's been most impressive in this offseason is how much he's truly dove into the actual knowledge part of the game. He's in my office all the time, getting extra, asking the right questions, which I think is one of the hardest things for players is when they come and they want to learn, right, is asking the right questions. But Deuce's IQ, his football IQ has just exploded this offseason. And then I'm so excited to see him, you know, this fall and this upcoming season, because as his knowledge goes up, right, the game slows down, which allows him to use all of that strength and athleticism way more freely because he's not thinking about what's coming next, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
A lot of offensive line coaches are also the run game coordinator. Is that a role that you're taking on at Arizona, and how does that work when you're, you know, working with offensive coordinator Seth Dagey as far as mirroring the pass and the running game so that they're cohesive?
It's been awesome. It's been seamless. It's really been fun because, you know, we've started to put together, you know, different packages that play off of each other, play action wise, naked wise, different things like that. To whereas we can set things up via the pass and the run. And Seth has been phenomenal. He's a no ego guy. He's super knowledgeable. He's taught me a ton about, you know, what we're doing now, and the fact that he's been able to blend, you know, some of my philosophy as well as Bobby's, as well as Coach Miller's and Coach Moival's. Like he is truly like a phenomenal coordinator, and it's great to work with him, and it's awesome. It's been great.
Going back to the right side of the line, Tristan Bounds coming back. You mentioned in the spring that when you got word that he was coming back for his 6th year, it was like a big sigh of relief in the entire office. But he's been limited this offseason, but I think because of him being limited, it allowed him to gain a little bit of weight, right? Like he spent some time in the weight room building up his upper body strength. Can you tell us about the good weight that he's added and the offseason that he's had?
Absolutely. He's put on about, I think I got the report back the other day that he's gained 18 pounds of muscle this offseason. And his bench press numbers have gone up like 30 some odd, 40 some odd pounds. Even though he wasn't able to do the exact same lifts as everyone else coming off the ankle, like his lower body's gotten stronger. He looks better. And with all that has come confidence. And when Tristan is confident, Tristan's dangerous. And now that he's gotten stronger, and I think he's in one of the more healthy places that he's ever been, because last year, what a lot of people don't know is that he was dealing with a bad back all season. And I think now with the increased strength, the better overall body, I think he's just in a much healthier place than he was all last season. And he's another one that I'm super excited about getting back. And obviously we'll be smart with him, you know, working him back in as need be. But he's another one that has really just blossomed this offseason.
And the offseason and the spring allowed Tristan to get healthy, get back in the mix, build up his frame, his 6'8" frame. But, man, it also allowed your younger guys to get those reps in the spring. And I think Louis Akpa, I mean, heck, he looks like he could be a very good starter, you know, if Tristan is unavailable. What do you think about Louis Akpa and the progress he's made over the last couple of years?
Louis been great. And it was funny. I was just talking to Coach Stu, our assistant O-line coach, the other day about how Louis is the exact poster child of just trusting the process. And now you can see the development that has gone into Louis. And again, right, like Louis gotten stronger, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten more confident. He's extremely athletic. He's extremely smart, which is one of the greatest assets I think in our room is like their ability to process information. And those reps that Louis got this spring were invaluable. And it was cool because he opened a lot of eyes, not necessarily in our room because we already kind of knew what we had in Louis. But I think just around the rest of the program and even in the public, that Louis right on track to do really big things here. And hopefully we have the opportunity to get him in the mix this season. Sort of like the Lotto situation, right? Like, Lotto had been doing well in practice, growing, getting better, and then it wasn't until after probably his second start that you could really start to see that click for him because, practice and reps and practice and all that stuff is great, but you truly learn best by doing. And Lotto's ability to get in the game and play, I think, has only made his growth exponential, which is what you can hope that you can get with Louis in certain certain aspects of the season.
And overall, it seems like whether it's the young guys that are coming back from last year or the newcomers that you guys recruited, I mean, it appears that there's a good amount of depth on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's probably since I've been here, it's definitely the deepest that we've been. And it's cool because in some situations, especially in today's day and age, right, you feel like that would cause sort of division, or there would be like different animosity and like, oh well, I want this job, I want that job, but the group is so close that they're out there coaching each other, right? Guys that are in position battles are coaching each other. And I think that's added to the depth because, as we lift the floor of the room, right, like everyone is improving. So it's been really cool to see that the competition hasn't turned combative. And it's just added to the options that we have in the room.
On the left side of the line, Matthew Lotto took some reps at left tackle. You guys moved Rhino Tapatotai inside after he started his career at tackle. Why do you think guard is better suited for a guy like Rhino?
So, last year Rhino was coming off of his knee injury, which as a guy that's gone through that, there's a lot that goes into that, especially when you're in the position that he was, because not only was he a tackle, but he was our left tackle. And he had played well young, but kind of coming off of that injury, there was, in my opinion, there were confidence issues, not really trusting it all the way. And he came back early, right? He did everything he could to fight back and get back on the field as early as he could. And I think just moving him inside, putting him in less space, allowing him to do what he does best, which is be physical, because he is a physical player. I think it just has kind of rejuvenated him a little bit. There was some stuff we were doing yesterday and just kind of seeing his movement patterns. He's back, and I'm really excited about that. And he's really dove into the position to truly learn it, to learn the adjustments that are there. He started to take up more of a teaching mantle with those younger guys also, as opposed to being the guy that, Jonah and Baker told him what to do. Like now he's actually the guy that's kind of dishing out the information, which I think is cool for him.
A couple of newcomers that you're bringing into the mix that weren't with you guys in the spring, Malachi Joyner and Justin Morales, two highly touted players that had all sorts of offers. You guys were able to get him to come out to Arizona. Joyner, shot put champion, is that right? Or discus champion, or something like that? So,
yeah. And he qualified for javelin after never done it. Goes out and his coach is like, "We need you to throw the jav," and he freaking qualifies for state.
Wow.
You're like, I think we're good with the violent hands.
Yeah.
You're doing all that.
No doubt.
So what do you think about those two guys and where they stand right now going into their first year?
These two guys are incredible. like I'm smiling just talking about them because they are insanely athletic, crazy twitchy, strong already. Justin, I think he benches close to 450 pounds already. Malachi's a 40-pound bencher. Both of them clean like in the 350 range. Like they're both extremely strong, extremely twitchy. They want to be great. It's so fun and refreshing to coach these guys. Not that the JVNs and the Louis and the Wheelers weren't that way either, but these two kids are. If they're not great, it's my fault at the end of the day. There's obviously there's a huge jump coming from high school to college as far as just the amount of verbiage and things that they have to know. Malachi made a joke the other day. He's like, he goes, yeah, it used to just be zone. I ran left or I ran right. And that was it. But no, there is a huge learning curve for those guys, but the ability that they have is awesome, and I can't wait to really just start to kind of mold it. It's one of those things like as a coach, there's only so many of those kind of like guys that you get to coach throughout your career, and I think we got two of them in those two guys.
You got what I call a unicorn on and off the field at quarterback. And I don't think people understand how protective as human beings offensive linemen are. How seriously do our guys take, like, no one touches Noah, and are they walking him and like encircling him to class every day too?
Noah, yeah. No, Noah is a big part of our daily thoughts. In our room. No, our guys love him. And he loves our guys, which is awesome. Like it's crazy. If they're not at my house on the weekend, they're at Noah's house. And
that's cool.
And yeah, I think it really kind of started last year. And I thought you could see the way that group truly took pride in protecting him. And I make sure that they know how important it is, right, all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, guys, that's the franchise back there, right? If something happens to him, you can cancel Christmas, right? Like, so, like whatever you got to do, like that can't happen. But no, he is. You talk about generational like talents. I had I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to play with Russell Wilson in college, and there are some similarities between those two. And when you have someone like that back there as an O-lineman, like it actually like hurts your soul, like if he gets touched. And there's just such a level of, like you said, like protection that you won't put around that guy. Because not only like do they help you win and they're phenomenal players, but like the guys like that, they're even better people. And it just becomes like a personal thing.
Arizona offensive line coach Josh Oglesby, who's also a big NASCAR guy. Josh, who's your NASCAR driver?
Denny Hamlin, rocking number 11.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, been a Denny fan since Smoke and Kevin Harvick retired. So.
Best race you've ever been to?
Ooh, the Phoenix race this past year was awesome. That was a super dope race. And then, God, I don't want to say like Daytona because that's just something like a fan would say. God, now I got to think about it. You put me on the spot.
Sorry, Josh. Josh.
I'm gonna go Phoenix this past season. Phoenix was great because I'm an Arizona guy now. Like it's our home track. Although Ryan Blaney won, like it's all right. I'm not gonna cry, but
love it.
No, the Phoenix. I'm an Arizona guy.
I love it. Josh Oglesby, Arizona offensive line coach, joining Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Radio. Training camp right around the corner. Season just over a month away. Josh, always a pleasure talking football, talking offensive line with you. Thank you for joining the show today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Give my guy Rhino and Deuce an inside trap every once in a while. Just let him earhole somebody.
You know what's funny is Coach Cecil came up to me yesterday and was like, "Hey, do we run trap?" And I was like, "Yeah, we ran it against Houston." But,
Me and Chuck on the same page.
That's the best.
there's no doubt.
Hey, Josh, thank you. We appreciate it, man.
All right, have a good one.
Take care.